Okay. So BlizzCon happened yesterday,
It was I think yesterday and today.
yesterday and today.
Today's like I think the last day.
Hmm.
I I've been like a WoW fanboy for a while, and I always geek out over the trailers.
You do.
They're action packed and they're fun and they're like little mini movies that end up being better than like actual movies in the same genre.
Yeah.
Um, but I watched this one last night and it like I immediately was taken aback because it just like hit in a different area, a different kind of like front, and um, I got like a little emotional,
Oh.
and it's just to give you some context, there was a few years ago there was Legion in which the ruler of the Alliance was killed and his son had to step up.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, and since then there's been several expansions that kind of put that try to show his like character arc in them, and the second most recent expansion where everybody went to the afterlife, which was fucking weird, horrible, and we don't like to talk about it. Had him basically imprisoned in what's like WoW hell, and his soul was corrupted by Frostmourne, and
Okay, I think I remember that a little bit too.
yeah, and he was like basically just like possessed and abused and had to it was like a raid boss, which is like the worst thing you can be in WoW. um, and then eventually he was free, and then the dragon expansion happened, which was kind of like let's forget about the last expansion, guys, here's some pretty dragons. um and then like a time skip happened. Shit that happened like 3 or 4 years ago that we kind of forgot about because a bunch of other things were going on at Blizzard.
Mm,
Anyway, so that's kind of where this thing starts.
okay. And so this is an announcement for an expansion called The War Within.
Right.
Okay. God, the graphics are beautiful.
You're here to tell me we don't get to hide. Is that it?
You needed time. We stayed away. But time by itself heals nothing.
You didn't just come here for me. It's the visions. You've seen them.
I suspect many have lately. Something, someone, is calling out from the heart of the world. Like a voice from a dream. Something dark is coming, Anduin. The world needs your light again. My son.
I am not that person anymore. I have no light. Not after what I've seen. Not after what I've done.
You are not your past, Anduin. I trust you.
Hear me.
They're getting worse. Look, whatever's coming, I'll stand with you. Of course I will. But we were drawn here by the voice. Who is it, Thrall? Who's calling out to us?
I'm not sure yet. But that sword was aimed at someone.
What? It's like this really touching moment where Anduin, aka WoW. You like pausing, get out of here?
Oh, no,
I'm
keep
talking.
talking. Yeah, keep talking.
You're
keep
my
talking.
way.
Keep talking.
There's a really touching moment where Anduin, aka this metaphor for WoW as a company, Blizzard, is being accepted back and you know, quote unquote trusted again by what's that orc's name?
Thrall.
By Thrall. The representation of the player and the player base saying, "You're not your past. We trust you." Like time to get back to what we've always entrusted Blizzard to do, and that is tell story.
You are so spot on with that. Like, and let me, like, you don't even, I don't think, you don't know how spot on you are.
I do know!
No, you don't. You
Oh.
don't. Because, like, you really hit the fucking nail. Because, like, Thrall, you could argue that Thrall was, like, one of the ultimate characters in World of Warcraft because he's the first character we're introduced to in Warcraft 3.
Okay.
Who we follow in Warcraft 3, who was voiced and created by Christopher Metzen, who left WoW years ago, who just came back as the creative director for the game. Like literally, it was announced like 2 months ago,
Oh.
and like it's such like a work. It's such like a come to Jesus moment,
Yep. Yeah.
which is ironic because the fan base, much to Christopher's like, I don't want to say chagrin, but like the fans love to refer to Thrall as like Green Jesus, and that's instead like he doesn't necessarily like that, but like so I want to just there's
You want me to pull it up on here?
yeah.
What's this?
Just like the Wrath of the Lich King cinematic. There's two things that really stood out to me.
You mean to zoom ahead?
No,
My son, the day you were born, the very forests of Lordaeron whispered the name.
so this is like Arthas' father speaking to him, right? The my son thing. We heard that in the cinematic.
Yeah.
And there's such like a contrast and like a foil going on here. This image.
My child, I watched with pride as you grew into a weapon of righteousness.
This shot right here.
Remember, our line has always ruled with wisdom and strength. And I know you will show restraint when exercising your great power.
So it's like with Arthas we have the isolation on like the icy ground. With Anduin, we've got, you know, showing his beard, graying, his age, everything wearing on his face. The sword in the sand, not the ice.
Mm-hmm.
The armor, gold, not steely blue. And like right here where he touches Anduin. The way Anduin reacts to physical contact. Thrall looks at his hand shaking. And it's just like you just see him as someone who's just dealing with just severe PTSD
Mm-hmm.
and just severe trauma. And it's just like the way that they, like, I'm getting all like emotional now. Like they just really capture the like the isolation.
Yeah, they really captured that, not only isolation, but the pain and the pain that the community felt because of Blizzard's actions, and also the guilt the Blizzard community, I'm sure, feels But also, I would stretch to say the guilt that Blizzard supporters may have felt after everything came out about what was happening with Blizzard's company culture.
Because like the thing like that people forget is that like World of Warcraft was just revolutionary in how it made the idea of these like synthetic worlds, these virtual worlds mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
Like coming out in like what, like 2004,
Yeah.
right? And growing exponentially, becoming popular culture.
Was it one of the first RPGs?
No, it wasn't one of the first, but it was like it went from like being like such a niche thing to like being uh, being talked about on Azeroth, becoming like consumable,
Right.
becoming popular, hitting like that consumerist, like thing. Like you had EverQuest, you had Ultima Online, you had Anarchy Online, you had fucking, you had MUDs, you had those kinds of things, but that was like such like a small insular community, and WoW made it accessible, and it was super addictive, and a lot of people like, and then now this is just like myself, grew up with grew up with like this brand, and it's it's silly to like think about how much we put into our consumption, but like I remember playing Diablo when I was in grade school, and I remember like Diablo 2, like Chris Metzen writing poetry in the beginning of the intro, like in the beginning of the instruction manual for Diablo 2, and I remember talking about that in like English class when we had to like analyze poetry, and so like the character, like you grew up with these characters, so when you see them like change, and when you see like the company behind them change and lose, it's like it sucks, because it's we're older now, and like we're talking about a video game,
Yeah.
and like the video game is showing us that we're older now. It's showing Anduin with gray hair. It's showing Thrall with gray hair, who's wearing like the armor that he had in the original. Who, in the last several expansions, he had like a shaved head and was doing like the whole monkish thing, but now he's got his hair grown out. Like it's a call. It's like it's like a callback to how it was depicted originally,
Right.
and it's like the fans felt abused by the actions that people have taken, and the betrayal that people have taken. And is it silly to hold like a company up to fucking standards that are not profit driven? Yeah, it is. But when you spend so much time.
I mean, but it's really not. I'm sorry, go on.
No, no, go ahead.
It's really not um absurd to hold a company that serves people through entertainment purposes, to hold them accountable to be socially and ethically good, because they're a business. Of course their commerce is what they're thinking about, but their entire business, their commerce is driven by the passion and the security that people consuming their product, in this case a game and a story, people consuming that build up a relationship. And while it's not a direct relationship with Blizzard, it's a relationship with the characters and the story and all the time that you put into a game. And so when that trust is broken, that is going to be commerce lost. Now, is Blizzard, did they feel that? I don't know. Do we really know? Will we ever really know? Not unless we could like see their books.
Yeah, and I think like the thing that makes it so complicated is that there's like this difference between, like this is what makes games as art, right? Like their ability to connect to the human experience
Yeah.
and the ability to be something more than itself. And when you so blatantly see a departure from like the art and a focus on like, a brand and, monthly active users and selling cosmetics, time by itself doesn't heal
It's not-
anything, right? It's like we needed therapy.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
and you could definitely say that, the majority of WoW players probably do need therapy. But like, I don't know if the company changed. I think having Christopher Metzen come back is good because the dude is, you know, for the most part, very respected by the community. Like people have tried to attach like controversy to him, like, oh well, he was there while these things were going on. But it's like yeah, like nothing's gonna stick because it's like he hasn't fallen the same way like the people who were directly there have fallen. Like there's nothing. So it's such a good, like the analogy I like to use is it's like the ship of Theseus, right? This Greek guy builds a boat, and then like 1,000 years later, they find the boat and they put it in a museum. But like the boat, it's old, so like they have to replace like the flooring, so they replace the flooring. And then years go by, and like, all right, the mast is old, so they got to replace the mast. And like all the steering wheel's old, they got to replace the steering wheel. And after like a few generations, everything's been replaced.
Yeah.
So like, is it still the same boat? Is it still the ship of Theseus, or is it the ship of the museum?
Right.
Is it the same thing? It's built the same way, but it's not. Like the essence of it has changed.
Right. Right.
So like it like this feels like Theseus coming back from the grave to try to rebuild his own damn boat, which is a good story, right? Which gives us hope.
Yes.
And like, should we trust this company? Well, I don't know. I mean, Microsoft just acquired it, so maybe there's going to be some stuff shaken up. All right, like we know that like Activision acquired Blizzard and stuff happened. Now Microsoft acquired all of that, so maybe more stuff's gonna happen. Like the original founders, the people that worked on it, like they're all over the place now. So I don't know, but it just like it really from like a story of the game, I feel like it had a lot to say, but like it also like hit me in like the trauma feels for like seeing like a personal and spiritual thing that like that we've experienced represented, and then it like kind of tied into like this on a game level represented there too. And so there was just like a lot of interpersonal and intrapersonal things just like lined up to make it to feel like art again.
Yes.
And like that was cool.
And not even, I mean, yes, art, but this really, I think, intentionally spoke to our generation, your era of growing up with WoW and then being let down so hard by their failure as a company. And now this is almost like a rebirth and a reconnection to you, to us, to our generation who has grown up with this, all the players who have grown up with these characters. And this is like, it's almost like an apology.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels, I mean, like, people say that Blizzard can do horrible, horrible things and people will write them off, but then like, the fan base is always one good cinematic away from coming back to them. And it's true, but like this is different. Like it doesn't have, it feels more personal, and
Yeah.
I think that's what they were trying to do.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that they were very successful in doing that. I think one of the things that they're trying to do with, like, I mean, even like the title, "The War Within," shows, come on,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's very on the nose about like that kind of internal struggle, but they're doing this is like one of they announced it as like one of part one of a 3-part expansion cycle
Wow.
where they're trying to like which to me immediately tells me that they're trying to tell a story ahead of time. Like they've already got a thing planned out
Mm-hmm.
that they're trying to focus on us, telling a story, and it could all be bullshit. It's easy to say part 1 of 3 and then like we'll figure out part 2 and 3 next week, like it's easy to say that. It's easy to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. But I mean, they're a huge company. I think they have the means.
Yeah, I mean
They have the
yeah, they
means
do have
to
of course they
have
have the means. Like some kid in
planned.
like Arkansas has the means to write a story,
Well, yeah.
you know. Um
I guess what I'm saying is I think that they've had plenty of time to feel their guilt and to think about how they need to bring their brand and their community back to its roots. Thrall and Chris is back on board, so they've had time to consider and work towards rebirth. Um, they've had plenty of time to do that.
yeah.
They've had plenty of time to think about how they talk to their player base in game about the past and moving forward. And that's what this is.
Yeah, I mean, and it makes me it makes me want to like root for them because I'm an idiot, and like that's like the cycle of trauma, right? Like
Oh,
like that's this time will be different.
trying to be optimistic here.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to be optimistic too, but it's like you can't forget the past. And you have to kind of like accept what happened. You got to accept like the future is going to be different, and it's nice, and it's like I feel like Anduin when Thrall comes back and he has that like smirk and shakes his head. It's like, oh, they're fucking
They're back.
they're bringing out the corpse of Thrall. It's like they're rolling out Mr. Metzen trying to get us back, and you're gonna tell me we gotta save the world. And it's just like, Anduin's cynicism there, is felt by a lot of people, like
Yeah.
100%. So like I'm immediately connecting with that, and I think it's I don't want to use the term brave in like its actual meaning,
Yes.
like there's nothing brave about making a cinematic
No.
like this, but like in corporate speak, I'm sure people will say this was a brave choice for them to admit and
Yeah.
whatever. So like in that, kind of like corporate lingo, yeah, this is a good call. This is a calculated call, but I think it's good to do as well. And I think like confronting that is good. At the end of the day, like they're making a product and they're trying to like sell a product, and I don't think this is gonna bring new people in. Like if you've never played World of Warcraft, I don't think this is the cinematic trailer that's gonna make you say like I want to play this game now.
Oh no, definitely not.
Like the
But
last
that's
one,
not their intention.
no, like the last expansion, like Dragonflight came out. It's like its focus was on like, look, you get to fly dragons, and like, oh man, like who are these people? Who cares? It's
He's a
pretty
flying
and beautiful.
dragon.
Who's this fucking dwarf flying a dragon? Ah, it doesn't matter. Who's this troll? Who cares? Like
There's a
look,
dragon to
look, there's
fly.
a stone guy climbing a tower. Like, oh, that's neat. Like, it's like this is like who gives a shit? Like that is clearly like, do you like dragons in fantasy? Maybe you'll like that. Like this is definitely like, okay, people that have played this, who these characters are, what they're talking about. Like, you know what the sword in the earth is. You know what the sword in Azeroth is. Like, you recognize that. You remember that. That's probably the last time you actually had fun playing this game, was
Oh.
those expansions ago. That was probably the last one you were with your friends in a guild playing. After this, you broke up. You
Yep.
left, you went your separate ways. This is the reminder that, like, there's a thing there, and we want you to come back and figure out what we were, what maybe we were trying to do, the story we were trying to tell before we decided to go to, like, fucking Wakanda and then the afterlife and then yeah, because like that,
Before we lost control of our
yeah, before we
storytelling.
lost the goddamn plot and we like retconned we were like, yeah, this is what actually happened. You know what? The only mystery in life is death. Yeah, we'll answer that. This is what it is.
And now
guess what?
dragons.
Guess what? It's a sorting. It's like a fucking Amazon warehouse. That's what the afterlife is. You
What?
die and you get like sorted.
Wait.
Oh, it's real bad. It's,
I gotta
like,
play
the
that.
concept is so dumb. There's so many, like, they try to explain it away with like, but it's like, wait, so you go to the afterlife, but you can die in the afterlife? It's like, well, where do you go when you die in the afterlife? Well, there's, you could, so there's this animus, right?
Yeah.
And like, I'm like, motherfucker, you just can't keep quoting Jungian bullshit and like hope. Come on, like it's weird. Like, wait, what do you mean you live in the afterlife and your soul goes to like a heaven thing, and that it was just insane. And like the whole premise of the plot was like, there's this guy called like the jailer who was actually a good guy but act kind of like a bad guy, and somehow he had something the fuck to do with Arthas, and it's like, it was so. I don't know what they were thinking. I don't get it. It was like, it was weird. And so we're not going to talk about that. They're like, you know what? Let's just, hey, dragons. Yay.
Yay.
Look, you can fly now.
Yay.
let's just forget about that. And like there were rumors that like the whole like Dragonflight's whole thing was like the flying dragon thing.
Right.
And there's rumors that the reason, like, the fucking, I don't even remember the name of the expansion. It was like Shadow something.
Should I find it?
I don't care. No.
Oh.
It's
Ooh.
not worth the search results.
Okay.
Um
Do not feed their SEO.
it was so bad. Like, they pivoted so hard. They were originally, the rumors were that they were trying to make like a mobile WoW game, and they like took
remember that.
and they took the mechanics from it, and they're like, let's just add it to like actual WoW, which was like the flying thing, and because like it's such a new area, and like there's no callbacks, there's no
It was a testing zone.
yeah. So like, I don't know if there's
Yeah.
gonna be flying in the new expansion. I haven't looked at anything about this.
I thought there were flying mounts.
There's flying mounts, but not like flying the way that you flew the dragon.
Oh.
Like, it was like a whole ass new. It was like Flappy Birds.
No.
Like, that's the only way I can. Like, that's probably the best way I can describe it.
I think I remember watching you play one time, and you said you have to like catch these.
Yeah, you gotta
like,
like go
wind
down. You
areas.
gotta go up. You gotta catch things. You gotta like, whatever. It was a whole thing. And it was fun. People liked it. It was a fun
Alright.
thing. But yeah, I don't know. I hope it's good. I want it to be good. Like, I want it to be successful in the terms of player satisfaction.
Yeah.
I want to be able to like feel good playing the game. I want to enjoy the story like I did. I want it to, I don't know.
No, that makes sense. When anyone is so committed to a story, like in a TV show, when they've drawn out the story for so long that they get to this point where you're like, what is going on anymore? This is completely off theme, off plot. What's going on? And some save it and bring it back, and some just close the barn door and whatever made sense, and the rest is disappointment. It's consumer disappointment. So I think you wanting them to succeed, that makes sense. That, like, they probably also want to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
Creating creating opportunity to rebuild trust is going to long term be better for them financially
Yeah.
than just continuing to ignore what happened. Not that they really continue to ignore it, but they're not just sweeping it under the rug. They're presenting their guilt, and I think you're right. I think it's worth being hopeful that they will succeed in bringing back their ability to storytell the way.
Yeah. Just tell a good story. Like, that's all you got to do. You don't have to be flying spaceships and fighting cosmic entities that like devour you. You don't have to be fighting the afterlife, whatever the fuck that even means. Like, you don't have to keep escalating it to the point where you don't have to keep scaling upward. You can, like, life is complicated enough on the ground outside of the fantasy world. Fantasy does not mean like constantly dragons, space monsters. Like, fantasy, it doesn't have to be like, it's become such a trope that's no longer fantasy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, fantasy doesn't have to be. Fantasy just means like outside the expectations of reality. Like what can only exist in the imagination. But like, we've been doing this stuff for so long that like it's not really fantasy anymore. Like,
Right.
it's been done. That doesn't mean that you have to come up with something else that has not been done. It means you can just tell the stories. Just focus on the characters, focus on the human elements. Focus on, like, you can make a story out of anything. Like, it doesn't have to be super complex. Like, you clearly are trying to recognize the fact that you've got a player base that's like old enough where you can like talk to them like adults.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Exactly.
They're gonna give you their monthly payment.
They probably have. They probably have a consistent income, and those monthly payments are going to happen whether they're playing every
Yeah.
month or not.
You don't need to. You just please don't squeeze them. Please don't squeeze us anymore. Please don't focus on all of that bullshit. That just make a game that's fun, tell a story that's engaging, and you're going to be fine. Like, it's easy. You could just keep telling the same story if you have to. Like, it doesn't have to change. It doesn't have to get crazy. Like, people go to Disney World all the time, and the people that keep returning, they yeah, it's cool to see like a new attraction, but like, they still, they're still going to go to the same old. They still want to see these things. They still want to keep reliving like the childhood experiences that they had, and like, they'll throw the money out there, and they'll pay for it. Just
Because they're, if we're using that as the example, they are there for the atmosphere, the emotion, and the consistent emotion
yeah.
that they have withheld. Not withheld.
And
they
it's
have whatever.
Yeah, well, but I'm saying, like, and like, people are gonna hear that and think like, well, yeah, you're talking about corporatism, you're talking about consumerism, capitalism, and you're talking about Disney. Like, they're like the biggest defenders of it, and yeah, they are. They are. Like, you're gonna spend a shit ton of money in Disney World buying stupid hats and like special cups. Like, you can only drink soda out of this cup. But like, you know why people still do it? Because they keep releasing movies that people like to watch. They keep releasing shows that people like to watch.
Yeah.
They keep telling stories that people are engaged in. Like, they are able to keep doing that. And as long as they keep doing that, people forgive that stuff. when you if you can't if you don't have if you can't sell like the product, then like all those other bells and whistles are just gonna seem offensive.
Right.
Make me want to like support you as a company because I like the company. Don't be like, I fucking hate this game. I hate this is so dumb, but I gotta finish the battle pass. Ugh. This skin's cool. I wish I could I really want to buy it, but like my soul will finally collapse under the weight of guilt and, just pathetic human wreckage I am. If I pay $25 for a skin, god damn. I'm sorry, I'm just
No, it's okay. No, it's good. You're correct. You're correct in what you're saying and in those feelings. And talking about Disney again in comparison is that, we said when we took our kids to Disney and we got back, we're like, oh my gosh, it really was like the quote unquote happiest place on earth. And that going there and we chose to stay on Disney Resort, and we said it was worth every penny because there wasn't a moment where we regretted our experience with Disney World and the resort and everything about it.
yeah.
And so that is an example where we were a consumer and they're a business, they're, corporate, huge corporate, but they are continuing to serve their customers, their clients, their consumers with consistent emotional ties and product that is worth the money.
Yeah. And it's like, and I didn't feel bad about spending money there because from like beginning to end, I felt like I was cared for by everybody there.
Yeah.
I felt like I was respected. My time was respected.
Yep.
My, like the experience was constantly authentic. Everything was just, it was an environment in which I was, I was not, I don't know, it worked, and maybe I've just been like so broken by the system that I didn't know it, I didn't feel it, but it's like, if you're gonna screw me over, like at least tell me you love me too, and like that's, I think that's the problem with a lot of these companies. Like what Blizzard has done in the past was abuse the players' time, and it was so obvious.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even like hidden. And like with Diablo IV, it was, yeah, you were gaining a lot of experience too fast, and we're gonna make it harder for you to level because we want you to play the game longer. And it's like,
excuse me?
so you're just making choices that make the game bad. Like you're actively making the game, and like it's always been like the meme has been like you once the player base finds something that's fun, it's like the alarms go off at headquarters and it's like fun detector, fun detector, fun detector,
ruin it,
and like they immediately like come down and destroy it, and it feels that way, and it doesn't need to, like you don't need to, but like everyone's always got to make more. Everyone's always got to make more money, and they'll just follow that metric. That's, they got to make more than they did last quarter. How are we going to do that? Well, what's the easiest way to do that? This. Well, we got to have more. We got to have players play the game longer. We want to have more active engagement. Well, here's how we can get them to play longer. We artificially lengthen it. We make it take 5 seconds to teleport out of the dungeon instead of 3. Like it was like shit like that.
Really?
Yeah.
That's sick. That's gross.
They're like, oh well, and then they're like, oh, we changed it back. We didn't like the fact we didn't do it to artificially lengthen the time it took to leave the dungeon. We did it because people were like using it to escape bad situations on hardcore, and we thought it lessened the risk that hardcore. Shut the fuck up. You didn't think people were gonna use teleport to escape? You didn't think people were going to use it to try to get out of a bad... Why else do you teleport? Like, why else would you...
Yeah, it's practically an ability.
Like, that's what... Nobody thought that? Nobody was just like, you think people might get overwhelmed and be like, shit, we should leave? Nobody thought that. Like, you think people are just going to just let them... No one has ever in the history of the world ever thought to leave the bad place when they're getting attacked. Like, no. Like, that's how disconnected they get when they're like, we're going to give them a teleport ability, and they're like, what does it do? Oh, it lets you leave the dungeon so you can start the next dungeon. It's like, it's an ability. It's the fantasy. You're using the teleport to, in fact, teleport.
Yes.
Like, people are looking at this as a way to get to town, not a way to progress to the next section of your fucking flowchart of user experience. Like, come on, dude. I mean, it's just, it's just when like people are so disconnected, or when they appear to be that disconnected, that it's so frustrating, because it's like, I'm here, we're here, we want to give you our money, but instead of just making the product and just taking it and being happy with that kind of exchange, you want to take it by whatever means necessary, by like complicating things, by trying to just instead of keeping the consistent flow of revenue, you just got to try to bring it up, and you got to raise it up from one quarter to the next, and just squeeze it all at once, and then whatever happens to the company after that, they crash and burn, fine. You made your money, you can move on and do something else. Instead of having long-term sustainable growth and sustainable gain, they sacrifice that for short-term profits, short-term advancement, and that leaves just ruin and wreckage. And it's good when you're a company that can just replace people quickly, replace people on the board, replace, like the CEO, replace whatever. You can shuffle in there, put in 5 years, make $1 billion fucking dollars, and then leave. And like the people that like the product, the people that like the stories, the people that were, they're not seen as people, they're seen as metrics. And when it's so obvious that the choices are being made to appeal to the metrics and not the players, when like the persuasion and like the rhetoric and like the decision making and the tracking and like the data, when all of that is just there to figure out how to make the profit go up from one quarter to a next, and you feel like you're not cared about, you're not listened to, you don't even care about your own story, you can't even keep shit consistent within your own story, and you're just unapologetically trying to appeal to whatever market seems to have the most money at that time, that's a betrayal. And yeah, we're going to try to find something else. We're going to try to do something else, or we're just going to stop altogether. And that's frustrating. It doesn't have to be that way. But, that's seems to be the way it is. Someone needs to find a way to do it better, and there are people that do it better. I want World of Warcraft to be the winner in that. I want them to earn my money. Like, I'm gonna check this out. I'm not gonna pay $90 to buy the pre-bonus deluxe expansion digital pack that gives me fucking bullshit that I don't actually need, but they just, it's like, if they wanted to make a point, they would have released this trailer, and they would have not released a pre-purchase option.
Yeah.
They would have not given you like, buy it now and get 800 traders tender to buy cosmetics for your character. Like, they could have been like, if they were truly doing a huge course correction, if they wanted to make a stand and say, we're going to do things different, they would have done that. They could have done that. They 100% could have just said, here's our trailer. We're going to make this game. We'll see you in like a year when it's ready.
So was that at the end, and oh yeah, look at that.
Yep. Pre-purchase now. It's the same shit. And like I feel like I've just gone through that abusive roller, like watching it, I was feeling good. Then I started talking about it, I'm like, fuck, it's the same. You know, it's like
I'm sorry.
it's it, it's frustrating. It's
Is
frustrating.
that how you feel?
Yeah, I'm like, God damn it. You know? It's frustrating because like you want you want it to be good. I want it to be good. And they have the ability to just be different. They have it within themselves to be different. They're big enough to be different. What, like, who's playing like, if you're playing World of Warcraft, you're not also playing Fortnite. Like, you're probably not
No.
bouncing between the two. All right? You're not going to be like, yo, I'm going to play some Call of Duty real fast. Then I'm going to get back to being a fucking panda, growing corn and fishing or whatever the fuck you used to do. Like, you're not. That's not like, all right, first I'm gonna go kill some terrorists, and then I'm gonna go play WoW Pokemon. Like it. I mean, maybe that's a sizable. They have data, but they're not gonna ever share it with people. But I just hate how they're just unsatisfied. Like they cannot be satisfied. And who's the they? The board.
The board, yeah.
The people that are getting paid. I don't care that they're rich. I don't give a shit. Bobby Kotick can have as many yachts as he want. I don't fucking care. Freeze his brain, send him to Mars, whatever the fuck these guys are doing. I don't give a shit. Whatever.
Submarines.
Yeah, cool. Good for you, buddy. Neat. But just let us just like let people that want to make the game, and just stop just stop just stop trying to fleece everyone, man.
You feel better?
I feel better.
All right, can we talk about this giant phallic?
Yeah, you want to talk about Azrael getting fucked. Yeah.
And like that's clearly that's Arthas's sword, isn't it?
No.
It looked like it. It's hard to tell. It's in the sky.
Yeah, so like what I meant when like
No, I know. Comparing
no, like when I said like, oh, people, like this was from like 2017. The last time.
You're good.
You have done well, mortals.
It is time.
We must gather our strength. Return home, children of Azeroth.
Illidan, we've done all we can.
Every choice, every sacrifice has led me to this moment. To face him once again.
You are not coming with us.
The hunter is nothing
Oh damn.
without the hunt. Did you not see
In the middle of something. What's up?
prophecy?
Don't chew in your cap.
Fate. Our survival was never in fate's hands. Light be with you, Illidan Stormrage.
Brother, your crusade is over.
This fucking guy's already retagged his video that he made 5 years ago
Good for him.
because he knows people are gonna look this up to explain what.
Yeah, what happened?
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, like that's. It's like 10 years later. All right, we'll address this. Like, I mean, it's not. It's probably like 8 years when this expansion comes out. I don't know. Maybe they've already announced the date. But like that's what I mean. Like they'll do like this giant thing. There's like this fucking sword, and now we'll talk about what's going on here. Now we'll address what this guy did. Eight years ago.
Okay.
All right, so I apologize. I kind of
No.
popped off on a rant.
No, that was good. That was good. That was good. That was a good talk. It will be interesting to see what actually comes of this expansion, and if it truly is a heart-to-heart with the player, or if it was just an attempt to draw the OG player base back in and rehook them for their money only, or if Chris is gonna pull through and save this.
Yeah. If any of you motherfuckers pre-purchase this expansion and encourage them to continue this pattern of abuse, you should be ashamed. Should I get that out?
I do appreciate that. All right, well, time will tell. We don't know release date yet.
Maybe, I don't know. I just saw this before I went to bed last night, and I was like, oh shit.
Okay. Let's see. Coming 2024. That is so tiny.
24.
Yeah, 2024. Which, I mean, all right, what part of 2020? Oh, look, a cardinal. On the thingy.
Yeah, how beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, fucking 2024 could mean anything. It can mean, what's November? It could mean 2 months from now. It could mean 12 months from now.
I hope it's 2024, like a year from now. Give it like a year. Don't. Oh God. Yeah, it has to be like Thanksgiving, probably around that time. Yeah, if they release it earlier than that, I'm worried. Like, I mean,
When was the last expansion released? Was it the Flying Dragons?
yeah, Flying Dragons.
When was that? It wasn't that long ago.
Maybe like 2 years ago. I mean, like that's usually the cadence that they follow. I mean, we could look at the numbers and see. It was Dragon Flight.
Let's do. Either there were 2 other expansions revealed.
Well, I think they just said that there's going to be like a 3-part thing, right? Like they announced the next 3 expansions, but I don't know if they've actually. I don't know. Did they like?
Those GameSpot articles leading me to believe that they did. World Soul Saga.
Yeah, I think they just said that there's going to be 3 They've announced 3 expansions.
Okay.
By saying here's expansion 1 of 3.
Okay. Here we go. All right, so
Yeah, Legion came out, which was like we stabbed the sword with, the Earth got stabbed by a sword, and then Battle for Azeroth was like the sword. Were like, yeah, the sword reveals Azerite, so we're gonna just go to like Wakanda, and, and we're gonna make an expansion loosely about imperialism, and then like everything went to hell immediately when they're like, well,
Imperialism.
because they're like, yeah. So anyway, yeah. See, look, November. They're probably gonna do it in November. That's
Interesting. I mean, financially releasing in November makes the most sense because then it can be purchased before the holidays as gifts and whatnot.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah. I mean, it sucks when you release a game like WoW during a holiday. Like, hopefully they release it like November 28th was a good thing. I like that more than Shadowlands November 23rd. Because it's like I don't remember where Thanksgiving falls. Is it always the 25th?
no, it's like the third or fourth Thursday of the month.
Yeah, like releasing the expansion before Thanksgiving is dumb because people want to race through the content as fast as they can because we're stupid gerbils on a fucking treadmill in a Skinner box.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I'm at Thanksgiving with my family and I'm like, I want to just fly my goddamn dragon and play this. And that's what I want my Thanksgiving break to be because I got to race through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so instead of thinking about
It's like it's
anticipating the game,
yeah.
you're like feeling FOMO instead.
Yeah, and like that feeling FOMO is, that's like the cousin of, well, that's like the progenitor of all of the decisions that they make.
Mm-hmm.
With like, here's our limited time battle pass, here's our limited time skin selection that resets on Wednesday. Buy this now or it'll be gone forever. Oh, the mount store has this mount, but it's only going to be here till January. And like, it doesn't have to be here till January.
It could always be there.
What do you mean? It runs out? It's digital code. It's knock it off with this artificial scarcity bullshit.
Yeah, gotta create that scarcity.
It's like what? It's like, oh, it's only gonna be here for what? Wait, where's it going?
Back to
Like
the
what?
vault.
Like what do you know about the cloud that we don't? Like the internet's gonna go down. You're gonna.
Nothing matters.
It's like, oh yeah, on the third Wednesday of October, Bob from accounting is gonna click the checkbox in Microsoft Access that will turn off this mount, and we just can't control Bob.
Oh,
He's
Bob.
a real prick, and so buy it while you can because we just cannot convince him to turn stuff off. And
Got my stapler.
yeah, he's gonna turn off that mount, and there's simply nothing we can do. Alas, so
Done
buy it
rugged.
while you can. Like FOMO is what they do. You got to keep those numbers up.
Mm-hmm.
God damn it,
But
it's so frustrating.
it is. It is. And unfortunately, there's not anything the player base can really do about it,
Well,
unless you get like everyone to boycott, which isn't gonna. It's not gonna
No,
happen.
boycotts are so ineffective for stuff like this. Boycotts are so ineffective because like the people that remember, because like here's the thing. The people that know what it was like and know what they're taking from us, the people that have that history, that memory,
Mm-hmm.
this is gonna be dark. But we're like dying every day. And we are like on the decline. The new people that come into it do not know what they have lost. Like kids don't know what was taken from them.
I know. That's sad. That makes me sad.
Right. It should. Because it is. Like kids don't know what, like, not to get political, but like they don't know what like the Patriot Act is. They don't know why the NSA was created, why like the TSA was created, why Homeland Security was created. They don't understand how, like, they don't have that memory of the world that was gone, And so like when they look at this, they're like, oh wow, yeah, oh, this looks like Fortnite. You know, it's like, motherfucker.
When you were talking before about wow, what uh was it Diablo 3? No. Final Fantasy 3? Who no. WoW 3. Whatever one had the fucking poetry in it.
Yeah, Diablo 2.
Diablo 2.
Yeah.
When you were talking about Diablo 2 having having a poem inside the game booklet, the booklet that came in the case, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that immediately brought me back thinking about buying any new game and looking forward to looking in that booklet and getting almost like a sneak peek of some of the elements of the games. Do you
Yeah.
remember how there'd be like, well, this thing is this, and it you know,
I bought the collector edition of Diablo 2. I bought that. You know why I bought that? Because it came with like a cool box. It came with the game, of course.
mhm.
It also came with another game. It came with rules on how to adapt your character from Diablo 2 to like Dungeons and Dragons. It had like a Dungeons and Dragons little mini game, and it came with like another rule book, and it came with like other stuff that you can play with it. There was an actual thing to collect.
Yeah,
There was a physical thing someone made and was given to that you could hold. There was a tangible product
Yeah.
you were receiving. There wasn't like it wasn't just it wasn't like, oh yeah, you'll get this collectible pet that you can only enjoy as long as you're fucking subscribed. You son of a bitch, you fucking cash pig. You fucking, like it's that's ridiculous. I'm not gonna buy a digital like the digital deluxe expansion. And what am I gonna get? Like Puggy the fucking pet for my character to follow me around, and I'll get access to like the digital soundtrack. Yeah, the only way I can listen to music, the only way I can listen to this music is if I have the exclusive digital soundtrack. Give me a fucking break.
That's what YouTube's for.
Yeah, it's just
No,
fuck out of here.
it is
man.
crazy. Like if I were a super fan, still the only way I would buy the pre-purchase, expansion bundle, blah 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 blah, would be if it came with tchotchkes. Like if I got a fucking t-shirt and a pen or something that were like Warcraft related, and maybe they've got, Thrall on it.
Yeah, like the
Like
last
I want tangible shit.
like the last game I was happy about pre-ordering that I remember pre-ordering for like a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Final Fantasy fucking 7. I didn't even have a PlayStation, and I pre-ordered that game.
Like
You know
the
why?
OG.
The OG.
Yeah. Why?
Because it came with a T-shirt. Because I was allowed to play a demo of it on like a PlayStation. I bought Bushido Blade when like when like the PlayStation came out, right? I knew Final Fantasy 7 was a thing that was happening, so I'm like, I need a PlayStation.
Mm.
I played Bushido Blade. I think it was like on my buddy's PlayStation, and like the Bushido Blade disc came with like a preview of what SquareSoft. You could play like the first reactor mission in Final Fantasy 7, and I was like, yup. I pre-ordered it. I got like a strategy guide that I could hold in my hand and look at look at the pictures and just read and have. I got a cool ass T-shirt. My mother threw that T-shirt away when I went to college, and I will carry that with me forever as like a very sad point in my life. It had a picture of like Final Fantasy 7. It had like a huge picture of Cloud on it, and it was probably why I didn't have a girlfriend for most of high school. Because I was real happy about wearing it. That shit was cool because there was actual value.
Yeah.
Like there was like actual value. It wasn't like, it wasn't artificial value that was created. And people can fucking, they can talk about like, well, value is, subjective and blah 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 blah. Yeah, people can like what they want. I don't give a shit. If you want to buy like, Billy the fucking, pug turtle, whatever digital thing, fine. All right, if that's what you like, cool. But you're getting fucked over, man. Like you are. Just know that. Just know that like you can hold these people to a standard. You can hold them to you can hold them to account for what they're doing. You know, you don't have to buy it. I'm not saying boycott shit, but I'm saying if you don't if you don't value the things that you like, you end up just like liking the stuff that you know you value. That doesn't make sense. I don't know. It's like we say. It's like we say in. Oh, thank you. It's like we say in like you know the data world. You know when we're always when you're measuring to see improvement. You know everyone's always talking about shit being data driven or whatever, but like all these people talking about things being data driven, they're not like they're not like trained to know what data means most of the time. They just want to say data driven. It's like a slogan or a catchphrase, right? If you don't measure what it is that you value, then you end up valuing whatever it is that you're measuring, right? Like
Right.
you need to know what you actually value, what should actually hold value, and then focus on that and not just let people tell you what you should value. Like, oh, this is a rare pet. It's like you made it rare. Like you did this. Right? Like, oh, you should get this for a limited time. You put the timer on it. You did that.
Bob's gonna check the box.
Yeah, Bob's gonna turn it. You know, Bob's gonna turn it off. Like, fuck, get rid of Bob. Tell Bob not to. Fire Bob. Like, just remove his access to the database. If Bob's gonna be such a dick, but like people are just like, oh yeah, I gotta do it now. I gotta play the battle. When you can buy a battle pass, and part of like the bonus to buying a battle pass is like buy the premium battle pass, and we'll give you like 20 levels on the battle pass for free. It's like that's valuable because you made the battle pass bullshit. Like why if I'm supposed to enjoy going through the battle pass, why are you letting me skip the battle pass? Why are you trying to incentivize me to skip the thing you're making me do? Like you haven't even sold it to me yet, and you're telling me I can finish it. You're like, buy this, but also pay more to buy this so you don't have to play the thing you just bought. Like what the fuck is that? Like that's why I don't understand. It's like one of the things they say is like, oh, buy the expansion and you can start like have an instant level 70 character. It's like, what? You want me to not play the game? You want me to just...
They want you to get to the hype, the most current.
Yeah, why? Like, you... Stop! You don't have to do that. If I can only have fun in your expansion if I'm level 70, you have failed at making a game that's accessible to people. Why do you even have levels? What do they even mean? And like I ask this to my students all the time when we talk about abstraction.
Right.
You know, I say like, why do you have hit points? Like, why do you have hit points? What's that supposed to be? Why do you have levels? What's that supposed to be? Like, what is the purpose?
It shows you progression of your character.
Yeah, but like, why? Why is that important? Well, because it shows you that you're getting stronger. It creates a sense of scale, and it creates a sense of scope. Okay, so if that scope is important to the game, then yeah, you need to know that. You need to have a way to measure. You don't know where you're going if you don't know where you've been.
Right.
Right? And so this allows you to kind of track where it is. But like if you're saying just skip all of that and start here, you're devaluing everything else that brought you to here.
Right.
Like look, for $20 you can get like WoW and you can get like a shit ton of expansions and you have a lot of content to play and enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
But it is going to be a lonely fucking experience because you're going to be playing in a world where you're not seeing people. It's not a world. It's not a world. It's a museum at that point.
Right.
Right? And that's not fun. That's one of the reasons why classic servers experience a huge boost whenever they're opened up. Because people are going through the content together. I used to argue and be on like the, you know, should a game be a theme park or should it be a sandbox? And theme parks, you go, you ride the ride, then you go to the next ride and you move on, and you ride the ride and you go to the next ride and you move on, and you really don't get a chance to really immerse yourself. All right, and I'll tell you, like, the only thing that's worse than like a theme park game is like a theme park that's empty, right? Like
Yeah.
when you're in like an empty theme park, that shit's scary. Like seriously, think about how horror movies use theme parks. When they're empty, they get
It's bad.
spooky. Why? Because it's not supposed to be like that.
Right.
Life is missing.
Yes,
Life is
it
gone.
devoid
It's
of
empty.
life, and the life is what made that experience.
Yeah. It's like watching a movie with people is a social thing, right? Like you laugh more when other people are laughing, right? Like that's why they still have that's why they had laugh tracks.
Yes.
Because it almost gives you permission to enjoy the thing. It gives you permission to laugh out loud. You're not some crazy fuck sitting alone amidst a pile of Cheetos and Mountain Dew, just like like laughing to yourself. But like, it's I don't know, man. I just
Everyone's judging you.
I know Andrew's judging me. Damn it. I need that rant, man. Oh god.
Do you feel better?
I feel better. I'm sorry.
All right, I'll collect your copay at the desk. But anyway, so The War Within was announced.
I'm completely railroaded your entire reaction.
That's fine. It's fine. It's a podcast now.
Yeah, apparently now it's a podcast.
Yeah, that's fine. That's better. I don't think my reaction was not very talkative, which is I was processing everything. But like, yeah. So they've announced The War Within, is gonna be one of 3 expansions. Now, whether that means they're just breaking up one expansion into 3 smaller ones to try to grab more people on release dates, or if there's enough story there that it's genuinely 3 expansions, who knows? We'll wait and find out. But we definitely have to keep an eye on this and come back to this. Wonder what end of 2024 it's gonna get released in. You're probably correct, but I don't know. I think from a marketing versus consuming standpoint, it's always really hard to wait out a year's worth of anticipation. Like that sort of kills the hype, but
Or
We'll
it can
see.
build it. Or it can build it. If they're able to like release more information over time, keep that hype train going, keep it building up. Show us that you're working on the game, show us that like you're taking player feedback, show us that the mechanics, the systems are gonna be good. Keep us wanting it, keep us getting ready for it. Have like, for God's sake, just have servers ready to go. You've been doing this shit for decades.
you gotta create scarcity.
There's no reason. There's no reason to have your servers fall and crash and have queues of thousands of people.
Look at the cat. Sorry, he's really cute.
Yeah, see, the cat knows what's up. Cat's just chilling out. It's like, I just want to lay here and just look out the window
Upside down.
upside down. Nothing means anything. He's not worried about this shit.
No, I'm sorry. He was like, yeah. But all right. So from like, oh, he just fell off.
Like that, like there you go. I guess. What a metaphor. Like it doesn't matter. Like people are gonna. Doesn't matter what you enjoy. You're gonna fall off at some point.
Yeah, you're gonna fall off. It's just
Get back up there, Thunder. Get back up there. Never give up, buddy. Oh, damn. All right, you want to check out the next one? The Diablo thing?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, let's check out Diablo. All right, so
It's like Diablo 4 announcement or whatever. Not that.
no, what's 4 years ago? Shit, where did I see it?
Just like expansion. Like Diablo 4 expansion will certainly yield something. There it is.
There.
Vessels of Hatred. Goddamn.
All right. Oh, I want like a Diablo one.
Yeah, go down. It's like the 5th one down, I think. By the Diablo.
Diablo.
4.
Here
Yeah.
we go.
All right, I haven't seen this one.
You haven't? Oh yeah, I found it, didn't I?
Just give me a second. I gotta.
Need a cooldown period.
Yeah, I need a cooldown period. Like my heart rate's up. Got too much salt in my diet because I'm an old man.
You need some water.
Oh, I'm doing this. Let's go.
All right, well, blow your fucking nose.
Just expelling the demons. This is 46 seconds.
Yeah.
This better be fucking good.
You done? Yeah, get it
One
all
more.
out. I don't want any sniffles. I need to shave my legs.
No, you
hairy.
It's all right. I like it. Gives me more. Gives me more to hold on to.
Ew.
I'm a beast.
I am a bear wolf, mama.
That's right. Goddamn.
All right, now this time I actually care about.
All right. All right. All right. So let's. So okay.
There's a lot to unpack in that.
I'm not. That's a present. I'm just. Ugh.
You're not gonna unpack that present.
I'm not gonna. I'm just okay. So let's think about where we've been with Diablo 4 before we take a look at where we're going. So
Yeah, God, I feel like I've barely played the story
we still
for
like the Season of Blood.
yeah.
All right. So Diablo 4 was about Lilith
Yes.
and Mephisto
Right.
and like daddy issues,
Yep.
right? We don't know who our character is. Like seriously, we're not. Like they retconned the original Diablo characters. Like the Wanderer was like the prince of some bullshit. Who the fuck knows? Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and Diablo 4 starts. You're just some dude wandering about, and you have power for reasons.
Yeah, we don't even know.
We're fed like the petals,
Yeah, that happens.
and we're able to like kick ass for some reason.
Yeah.
Other people were fed the petals. Apparently, they don't kick ass because like
They turn into
they feed you the petals, and then like that. I guess that guy like then would have butchered us if we weren't saved by the priest we kill at the end of the very end of
Right.
Diablo 4.
right.
So there's something special about our blood. We are the main character. We fight Lilith, whatever. Their first season was like about some wild disease that was spreading because people had COVID on the mind, I guess. And there was like weird like monstery mutation thingies. I don't really know.
Yeah, I mean it could be related to so many real world scenarios. But yeah, essentially the world is infected.
Yeah. Then
And
like
we have to rid it of of this infection.
It was, yeah, I really don't, I did not play season 1. Like, the game was just not good for me to enjoy playing the first season. So we're playing the second season now with vampires, still on the infection train. All right.
Yeah.
So we're now like vampires, and we've got vampire blood, and we're like a lot of blood stuff going
A
on.
lot of blood. lot of blood.
A lot of blood stuff going on. So like, I guess they're they're consistent with that like motif. Still no trace of Diablo.
No Diablo in
No,
the Diablo game.
Yeah, no Diablo. Kind of broke away from that, which maybe is good. I don't know. Maybe this Vessel of Hatred, the title, does not lead me to think we're going to be dealing with Diablo, the Lord of Terror.
Vessel of Hatred. That sounds very much like containment of bad feelings. I feel like Lilith is.
Yeah, Lilith is the daughter of hatred, daughter
She's-
of Mephisto, Lord of Hatred.
Yeah.
Whatever, and like, I'm gonna now I'm gonna get Jungian here
Blech.
with this like a vessel, like the divine. Oh God, I'm so sorry for what I'm about to do.
Are you gonna ruin the game?
No, I'm not gonna ruin the game.
All right, then you can keep talking. As long as you don't ruin the game for me.
No, I'm not gonna ruin the game. I haven't seen this. I'm just saying, like,
Need more tissues?
yeah.
Go get them, and then come
I'm
back
like,
and.
I'm literally getting sick over this. Okay. All right. So Vessel of Hatred. I'm thinking like a vessel. You have like the sense of anybody that's carrying something around. So we're carrying around Lilith's blood. We're carrying around the infection from the first season. We're carrying around like the vampire blood from the second season. But also when I think of like vessel archetypically, I immediately think of like the divine feminine, like the idea of like the woman that as the vessel for like life,
Right.
right? And like so Lilith as the vessel, like the mother of all, like even biblically speaking,
Yes.
like Adam and Eve produced Cain and Abel and all those other people, but not like the world population. Like we are all like, and now it's been a long time since my catechism, but Lilith was the mother of everyone. Was like I think like Adam's side piece that birthed everybody. So like Lilith as like a vessel, right, of hatred suggests. I mean, I think really is I think this is a callback to Mephisto. I think this is a callback to Lilith, and I think we're going to see a return there, or it could just be referring to us. I don't know. We're the vessel for it.
Well, so with all of that still in mind, we had to work with the fat dude,
Donan.
Donan, to create a vessel, right?
Yeah, the Soul Stone. Yeah.
Yeah, which is a vessel, and that was supposed to contain Lilith.
Mm-hmm. But we didn't put Lilith in the vessel. We put Mephisto
Right.
in the Soul Stone. Well, like the one-armed girl whose name escapes me.
Yeah,
And
one
she's like,
girl.
I'm off to the east or whatever,
Yeah.
and hopefully no one finds me. No one catches up.
Yeah, because she's
Yeah, she had like
the vessel.
Oh yeah, maybe she's the vessel. She's got like the wolf that was next to her that's supposed to be Mephisto following her around.
Yeah.
So maybe she's the vessel
And
of
she
hatred.
became but yeah, and that's what it was, right? Is that she's
Yeah, because like that's par for the course. Because like when at the end of Diablo 1, the main character traps Diablo in the Soul Stone, releases the Soul Stone from the body of like the kid, and jams it in his forehead,
Mhm.
and then his instinct is to like wander off to like the west to like free his brothers, and now she took the Soul Stone. She hasn't jammed it in her fucking head.
no, she's carrying it.
But she's got it, and she's heading now to the east.
Right.
So it's again like kind of a callback to that, and it's following that same sort of story beat structure of Lord of X contained. Now we go to this place, and bad stuff happens in our wake. So we'll see if I would be very surprised now, if she's not in this, because what like you completely reminded me of that. I've forgotten, so I'm glad you I'm glad you mentioned that, because I think that's important. I really think that should be here.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. We'll see what it is. I mean,
Yeah.
we only have like 46 seconds.
Yeah, no, all right.
So
So,
let's see what's up.
We have each played a part in what has happened here. You abdicated your choice to this child. And with every step she takes, I grow stronger. There will be no salvation in the light.
All right.
all right. So we're heading to the Mayan temples.
Is that what that was?
It looked like it, didn't it?
Go back. Go back.
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
back.
Look at that.
Yeah, that looks like a ziggurat.
What's a ziggurat?
I think like that structure is called a ziggurat, right?
Oh,
It's
I
like a
don't
pyramid,
know.
a pyramid with a flat top.
Oh.
I don't know.
I'm gonna look that up.
My architecture is not great. My knowledge of that.
Oh, look. Okay.
I mean, I'm pretty
First
sure
thing.
it's a ziggurat.
Yeah.
A rectangular-shaped tower, sometimes surmounted by a temple. Ziggurats are first in BC, probably inspired by the biblical story of the Tower of Babel. Genesis. Yep. There you go. It's a fucking ziggurat. So we've got like the story of Genesis. We've got the temple. Yeah, there's the temple on top of the ziggurat.
Yep. And we did hear what's her face.
Yeah, what is she saying? Can we hear what she's saying?
Yes, again.
We have
She sounds scared.
played a part in what has happened here. You abdicated your choice to this
Or what did she say?
child.
Said like a word.
You want me to see it?
What
Oh, yeah.
has happened here. You abdicated your choice to
The
this
suit?
child. And with every step she takes, I grow stronger here. You abdicated your choice to this child.
The soot?
And with every step she takes, I grow stronger. There will be no salvation in
Someone?
Yeah, it definitely sounded like at some point she said, don't make me do this. It sounds like she's being controlled by Mephisto.
Yeah, that's usually what happens.
Yeah.
I don't remember what her name is.
I'm looking for it.
Narelle.
Narelle, that's right. Narelle. You are correct. All right, so We're gonna circle back to her walking off to the east.
Yeah, because this is where she ends up.
I guess so.
So we're following her. We were specifically told not to follow her.
So we're gonna follow her.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, like, well, that was like, if she's got this thing that's corrupting her, we have to assume everything that she does is corrupted by it,
Mhm.
is somehow tainted. So, like, her saying not to follow her might be Mephisto saying not to follow, right?
Right.
Like, doesn't want us to stop that from whatever is going to happen from happening.
Right.
We were supposed. I'm glad that Mephisto recognizes that the story was kind of bullshit when everybody was like, "You have to choose the player. You must choose. Do we Soulstone Mephisto or do we Soulstone Lilith?" And like the game's just like, "We'll choose for you. We'll let her make the choice." So he's like, "You've abdicated your choice to a child." It's like, you made me do that.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that they recognize the fact that, you know, as a player, I felt like my choice was not, you know, I did not get to have a choice. I mean, I don't know. There's not a lot. I don't know enough of like the deep lore of Diablo. I'm sure this is a place that, I mean, like I remember jungles from Diablo 2. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I don't remember going to the jungles in Diablo 3. But that could just be because I didn't really play Diablo 3 a whole lot. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't have. There's not much for me to go off of this right now.
I'm trying to see how the season interactions could build into the story, or if they're just filler to keep us entertained, continuously saving the world from bad stuff while we wait for larger story expansions.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that's what, you know. That's what you do is you have like the seasons to give you a reason to keep playing, keep the player doing stuff in the world that already is. And I think maybe we're gonna go to, like, you know, obviously we're gonna go to a new continent. We saw her, you know, in a boat traveling across the sea to here. So maybe there's gonna be a bigger map. There's gonna be like, you know,
This expansion essentially could potentially expand the world.
yeah, that's what I imagine it's gonna do.
Yeah.
Now, I think it'll be interesting to see how they do that, because one of the cool things was that Diablo 4 did feel like an open world, because you could like hop on your horse and just kind of go everywhere, and you saw like those different biomes sort of like materialize, you know, relatively quickly.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like, you know, because I remember like one of our jokes when we were playing this was like we would be doing something somewhere and be like, "Hey, remember when we were in like Snowland and like now we're in like a desert?"
Yeah.
Like, I feel like we just kind of like somehow, you know, you just like ride for like 10 seconds and now you're in a desert, and it's like, "Oh, hey, now we're in Scotland." You know, like, "Oh, wow, that's cool. We're in, you know, I guess now I think we're in like India now. Like, what the fuck?" You know, like, you know, I mean, my geography's probably wrong, but you know, American education system.
But
So it'll be interesting to see how we get to this continent. Like, you know, our horse. Like, are we gonna get like are we gonna get like a boat and then have to sail? That would be silly as hell. I don't know.
you just like summon a boat the way you summon your horse,
Yeah,
and
it's
you're just
like-
like sitting in it. You summon it on land accidentally, and you're just sitting in a boat on land. I'd appreciate that. I would like that.
Can you imagine
I would
like
like
20,
that.
20 characters just summoning boats, just like on the sea, just a bunch of like canoes just going everywhere, and like getting all like caught loading like the next part of the map. People's canoes are just erratically moving like horizontally in ways canoes ought not move. Like I don't think they're gonna. Who knows? Maybe they'll do. They'll do something like that. I doubt it. It'll probably be just like you just gate to the place. Like,
Probably.
Like, oh, in the bottom of this temple, there's a portal that will take us directly to the jungles of wherever the fuck this is. And so you just take that portal and be like, hey, we decided we'll just open this portal in Kyovashad so you can like be in Kyovashad and do everything from Kyovashad.
Kyoba, shoot yourself over to that other world.
Yeah. Kyovan over here now. um
All right, well, I'm gonna pretend that we're gonna get boats because I would like a paddle boat skin. You know the boats that you like?
You know if there's boats, you're gonna have
Boat skins.
boat skins. You know it. It's gonna be like, oh, do you want to have like a Viking boat with shields on the side?
Ah!
Here you go. You want to have a ghost ship? You want to have like the Jolly Roger? Like, oh, hey, here comes the One Piece crossover. Can you
Yeah.
imagine?
Oh, see now, like
That would just break my heart. It'd be cool because One Piece is awesome, but it'd be so like that's how you know that like the corporate world has won once they do like the crossover and it's like yeah we're on the I don't even know the name of the boat, wasn't it like
Jolly Roger.
no that
No.
wasn't it.
Oh,
It was like
that's
the
name of the
Mary.
flag.
It was like
the
the
Mary.
Mary.
Yes, that's the
Yeah.
the sheep Mary, the Mary.
Jesus Christ. Oh God.
All right. Well, that aside, like no crossover. I want a paddle boat skin.
Yeah.
I haven't spent any money in this game, and I wouldn't because I left my job, don't have no income. But if I was going to spend money on a skin, it would be a paddle boat skin. Just that I would,
Can you imagine?
or a ghost ship.
Like
That'd be
how
great too.
like it's gonna be like oh God, I'm just thinking of all the ways they could just break this, and it's gonna be like oh okay, your boat's actually it's like gonna be like a wakeboard, and you can just imagine like the hero doing like what are those standing ones called where you like stand on like the
Like a
surfboard?
paddle board.
Is that what it is? It is a paddle board.
Yeah, you can like stand or kneel or whatever.
Can you imagine? And it's gonna be like here's like a $25 bikini skin, so you can paddle over to the jungles of Mesopotamia, and oh, it would be such a departure from like the mood of the game, but like I wouldn't be surprised. I would see it release and I would just kind of like nod my head and of course.
Of course.
Why wouldn't this have happened? It's like I feel like the parental like I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed. Like I just
Yeah, not angry because I'm not surprised.
I'm just disappointed.
We're doing this. All right. All right. Well, Diablo IV Vessel of Hatred expansion announced, and looks like that is late 2024. So we have at least a time frame to anticipate our anticipation.
Yeah. Can you imagine like I'm just bringing this back to like the Warcraft trailer, how we were like, yeah, like the players like Anduin and they've been betrayed. Like what this is like Blizzard recognizes the WoW community is Anduin who feels like I have no light left in me. I'm done. Or like Anduin's like Blizzard the company, like I'm bad and blah 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 blah
Yeah.
blah. I'm whatever. And now like Diablo 4, like the Vessel of Hatred's the player. Like the community is just a Vessel of Hatred for this fucking game. Just angry and hateful and spiteful and
Chopped off her arm, and now we're carrying Mephisto around. Just
like
hatred.
Like it just no yeah, I mean from like a storytelling perspective, but I mean just like from like a a meta experience, like the community just hates this game and have been shitting on it since June. It's like yeah, you are the Vessel of Hatred in every conceivable way. Oh boy. All right. Any last words?
Nope.
Are you gonna? So are you gonna play? Do you want to play more Diablo 4 and figure out what the fuck this vampire shit's going on?
Yeah, I do. I think I was a little frustrated by season 1 with the putrid whatever it was called.
Malignant
The
tunnels?
malignant tunnels.
That was
Like the malignant. Yeah, you had to pus sacks. What I
don't know.
I don't know if there was supposed to be story to the seasons, but I didn't get any from the first season. And now season 2 I am feeling a little disappointed. I don't feel like I've gotten any like vampire story really, but I've also not vested time primarily to the season story because there's when you start a new season, you have to start a new character, and then you have to do the character
Yeah.
your class. You have to do all those class things to get them out of the way. And I don't mind doing them. I just haven't had a lot of time to
Yeah.
put directly into the season story. So I want to do that because if there's story behind each season, I need that before we get Vessel of Hatred.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, late 2024.
We got some time.
Yeah, is it what is it? 2023 right
It's
now?
2023 right now. It's November,
It's
so
November. So yeah, we've got.
we have like a year.
we've got
Like I would say, like
yeah.
this is late in the year.
So now I'm wondering. I'm wondering if the WoW expansion might be earlier than that, earlier than November. Maybe they're looking at like a summer release, like they did with Diablo, like in June.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. So if we go back historically, they did a lot in the last quarter of the year
Yeah.
until Legion, where they did two summer releases 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
With 2 years apart. And then they came back to that November release. But like you said, there's so much going on with holidays. I think it does affect the player experience. So, and now if we know Diablo IV Vessel of Hatred is going to be released in the last quarter, then I think it's likely
Hmm.
to be in that second quarter.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. Gotta bump those numbers.
Yeah. And they
Gotta
wouldn't do
bump
it in the
'em up.
third or first, because you're gonna see that overflow from
Yeah.
one quarter to that next quarter, and then you need the jump in the.
Yeah.
So it's probably gonna be the second quarter, which is gonna be summer.
Yeah. Yeah. The if Warcraft comes out first, I'd probably have Warcraft come out first, and then right around that time where like the numbers for Warcraft start to dip, here comes Diablo.
Yep.
And then you're woo boop and you're back up. Then right around that time Diablo numbers start to dip. All right, here's like the raid expansion for WoW, and like woo boop. And then once those dip, okay, here comes the Diablo season starting up again. And so it's just try to get these people, on that treadmill
Yes.
and keep that content going.
Yep. They're doing it. All right. So wrapping up for the third time. Diablo 4 Vessel of Hatred expansion, and we're gonna keep eyes on this and see where it goes.
Yeah.
In the meantime, we'll be playing Season 2 and figuring out if there's actually story and lore in our seasons, or if it's just playing with blood for shits and giggles.
That's it.
That's it.